97 to 99 FM. We could tell you how we do it, but then we'd have to kill you.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, wireless mass media revolutionized society, bringing millions of people together in a single, shared, instantaneous experience. We know now that the first such medium to seize the imagination was radio. In the 38th year of the 20th century, a single radio drama, Orson Welles' version of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, caused millions of Americans to question whether what they were listening to was fiction or fact. Thousands fled their homes in fear. A few even took up arms against a supposed invader. 60 years later, throughout the world, radio's influence has withered. It is a spent medium. It could never happen again. Could it?
Contact them by radio. Radio.
One.
Darndest noise ever.
The UK's new music.
97 to 99 FM. Radio 1.
Welcome to BBC Radio 1's live UFO Watch Special. I'm Nicky Campbell, and if you've been listening in during today, you'll know that history is being made...
That's another burst coming in.
...even as I'm speaking.
Mark the time. 1901 hours and 20 seconds. Good.
The distinctive voice of the astronomer Patrick Moore. Here with me aboard an RAF Sentry E-3D aircraft high over northern England. Now, if you've ever seen AWACS, the large American early warning aircraft with a saucer-shaped disc mounted on its top, this is basically the Royal Air Force equivalent. Now, Patrick, of course, is more at home in an astronomical observatory, but events are moving so fast that... well, frankly, I'm a bit lost for words, because basically we've been using a very powerful ground station transmitter to send a high-energy signal pulse out into space for a week now as part of our UFO Watch initiative, which you'll know about if you've been listening to Radio 1. And the radar telescope facility at Jodrell Bank has been, well, this morning at around about 10:30, get this, something came back. Now, we've got some sort of a reply. Now, what we want to do now is to get a clearer signal and try and pinpoint it. And the RAF are taking the situation so seriously, they've actually diverted this aircraft from a mission over Bosnia so we can find out if we really are in contact with an extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, in the background, you can hear the voice of the Sentry's tactical director, squadron leader Pete Newton. Now, Pete, where exactly are we just now?
We're just coming on station now, Nicky. Our orbit is over the Isle of Man, as you can see on the screen.
Right, yeah, inside the Sentry's cabin, there are 3 rows of radar consoles, all displaying information about air traffic over the UK. Now, normally this would be part of the airborne early warning system for air defence, but this evening we've also got a ground link to the radio telescope array at Jodrell Bank, relaying what they're actually picking up from deep space. In fact,
this is Eyeball. Over.
They're just relaying another transmission now, as you can hear.
Have we got Woomera on SATCOM yet? With the information on Mount Palomar, we might be able to triangulate and pinpoint the source. What have you got on the other
well, obviously,
screen?
Patrick's a bit busy at the moment, but I have what they call the air command element of this RAF Sentry aircraft with me, Group Captain Philip Johnson. Phil,
hello,
good to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Good to be on Radio 1.
The RAF are obviously taking this reply to our deep space transmissions very seriously. What's the official position on UFOs? Is it like the X-Files, you know, that kind of top secret?
Well, if it was, we certainly wouldn't be broadcasting live on Radio 1. No, the RAF have always kept an open mind on this issue. After all, we have to. The air defence of the United Kingdom's our job.
Does that imply we've had sightings of UFOs over Britain?
Oh, yes, definitely. We've had reports, hundreds of them over the years, mostly explained by natural phenomena, including the human imagination. But, well, I suppose there's a hardcore that don't fit known explanations.
Are you talking personal experience here?
Indirectly, perhaps. My wife, Becky, is a flight lieutenant piloting Tornado F-3s from RAF Collingsby, a few miles from our base at Waddington.
Good to know the RAF has female fighter pilots. I'll say that for it.
Yeah, several in service, more in training. The RAF's an equal opportunities employer.
But has your wife actually seen a UFO when she's been a pilot?
She was once doing low-level night flying training over North Wales and found herself shadowed for several minutes by a Very fast, very bright light. Nothing registered on ground radar, but she's not prone to hallucinations.
Well, maybe we can radio down and talk to her about this later in the programme.
I'm sure we can. She's on QRA this evening.
Excuse me, sir. GCHQ on the phone patch.
Excuse me, Nicky, something's going on.
Well, thanks very much, Group Captain, for now.
Hello, Jodrell. This is Patrick Moore aboard Eyeball. Is the Woomera signal coming through?
Any minute now, Patrick.
Patrick Moore there, occupied at this moment with attempting to establish exactly where this extraterrestrial reply is coming from. Now, this is a day... People can say they remember exactly where they were when President Kennedy was assassinated, the day man first worked on the moon, John Lennon assassinated. I suppose as you're hearing us now, this could be the same thing. We just may have made contact with life on another world.
With respect, Nicky, we haven't established anything of the kind until we've located the source of the incoming transmission.
Right, I see.
It could be a perfectly straightforward transmission, distorted by atmospheric conditions.
But it is getting stronger, isn't it?
It seems to be...
George, roll to Eyeball. We're fixing coordinates.
Excellent. Jodrell Bank is now combining data from the 3 separate points on the Earth's surface. From its own radio telescope array, from the Mount Palomar Observatory in America, and now from Woomera Tracking Station in Australia. All these signals arrive at slightly different times to each location due to the curvature of the Earth. Here's what Jodrell Bank is picking up.
Okay. All right, got that.
This is from Mount Palomar. Let's add Woomera's receiver.
They're all a bit unsynchronized, aren't they?
Quite. And by running these data through our triangulation program, we can measure the difference in reception time, factor in the strength of the signal, and arrive at its probable source.
So is it possible, can we find out for certain whether this sound is coming from beyond the Earth or not?
Unquestionably. We should get an answer on this aircraft surveillance display.
Answer's coming now. We're setting a cross-told data link reference point.
Well, what we're looking at now is a symbol which has just flashed up from the ground station onto one of the screens. Now, I assume this gives us a precise fix on the signal. Is that right, Patrick?
Oh, absolutely.
And what does it tell us?
I haven't the faintest idea.
These translate into coordinates. Jodrell should be able to give us the range. Jodrell Bank, this is Eyeball. Can you estimate a range for us?
Yeah, 285,000, give or take.
What does that figure represent?
The distance to the signal source is 285,000 kilometers.
So this is a transmission of alien origin. The signal's coming from another world.
The nearest planet capable of sustaining life as we know it would be 8 light years away. This signal is coming from our moon.
So what...
Nicky.
Hello, Group Captain, yeah.
Nicky, we've got GCHQ on the patch. They want a word.
With me now? Right, okay, well, if we can take... I'm live on the air here, actually. Who is it from?
GCHQ, Government Communications Headquarters. I think you should talk to them.
Right, apologies for this. If you're listening to the programme, we're live, and these things do tend to happen. It's an unpredictable sort of thing going on. So excuse me 1 minute. No, I'm the programme presenter. Yep. It's 7 o'clock.
Sir, Jodrell's triangulated the signal to this position. Should I alert BMUs?
Well, it's
exo atmosphere, all right. A ground getting this via data link?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a decision for the Radio 1 control.
Good Lord.
Matthew Bannister.
According to Jodrell, the range is decreasing.
Yeah, I'll do it, yeah. This is Nicky Campbell, live from Radio 1's UFO Watch. We've been asked to hand back to Radio 1. If there's any more information we're allowed to give you on these extraterrestrial signals, we'll probably get straight back on the air. I'm hoping Mark Goodyear is in London. Hello, Mark, are you there?
Hi, Nicky. Yeah, hope to get back to you soon. Yes, this is Radio 1.
Radio 1.
Are they all as powerful on planet Earth?
First.
Yeah, sorry about that. Seems to be a bit of a problem bringing you our live UFO Watch special. But this is Radio 1, the UK's music leader. I'm Mark Goodyear. Let's get on the dance tip with a tune which is going to be very big indeed for a man from New York. Here's Gusto and Chant. I think we've just been given the nod that we seem to have ironed out the problem with Nicky Campbell's UFO Watch special. Let's go back to join him aboard the RAF Sentry aircraft over the northwest approaches. Nicky, are you back with us?
Matthew's just told them they basically took a flying. I don't know.
Nicky, are you hearing us?
Oh, hello. Yes, Mark. We're back.
What's the story? Are we allowed to mention the little green men yet?
Well, we had a bit of a run-in, Mark, with the government's listening post. It seems that they were concerned this extraterrestrial signal is Russian in origin, but this has now been discounted. In fact, since we went off the air, there have been a couple of developments I can now tell you. Astronomer Patrick Moore is here with me. We have established the source is in fact the moon, right, Patrick?
Wrong, I'm afraid. It's moved.
What are you talking about?
The message has been getting stronger and stronger. Now we've been able to triangulate it, locate its point of origin, we can say, without question, that its source is moving at some considerable speed toward us.
Right. We've got Professor Dmitry Belov on the line from the Gagarin Radio Telescope Facility in the Ural Mountains, leading Russian astronomer.
And an old friend. Hello, Dmitry.
Patrick, good to hear you. Still playing the xylophone?
Oh, yes, indeed. Now, Dmitry, what do you make of this response to our transmissions? I assume you're receiving it.
Oh, indeed we are.
Professor Belov, if I can just ask you, in your opinion, would you say this is a contact with another life form? Have we proved there is life out there?
Most emphatically, yes.
On what basis have you formulated that opinion?
One of our satellites is relaying not only this signal, but also visual images.
Sorry, I mean, you've actually got a picture of this thing.
Can you describe what you're looking at, Dmitry?
Well, we're at full magnification, so the resolution is not so good, but there is an object moving towards us.
You can see it, though?
Oh, quite clearly.
What does it look like?
Well, it's a dull gray or brown, featureless at this distance.
What sort of shape is it?
I don't know. I suppose like a potato.
I've heard it on an extraterrestrial root vegetable is heading for planet Earth as we speak.
An asteroid?
That would be an explanation of its origin, perhaps.
Dmitry, what size would you say the object is?
We estimate it is about 550 kilometers long.
Dmitry, if your estimate is correct, the object is moving toward the Earth, there are some fairly serious implications in terms of mass and velocity.
You mean this thing's going to hit us?
No. Our calculations indicate it is slowing at a rate commensurate with orbital insertion.
The object is moving into Earth orbit?
It is doing so now, yes.
But something that size its innate gravitational pull will play havoc with the ecosphere, shifts in the Earth's oceans, instabilities in the continental plates.
Yes, but...
The destructive potential is enormous.
The object is so close that these effects should have become noticeable by now. There is anomaly here. No reports from anywhere of such phenomena.
This is Nicky Campbell live on BBC Radio 1's UFO Watch. You're listening to leading astronomers Patrick Moore and Professor Dmitry Belov as a vast extraterrestrial object is moving into orbit over Earth. Now, we don't know where it is or where it's from, but it doesn't seem to be obeying the laws of physics, does it?
Well, from this data, it seems clear that this object has an internal gravitational balance. A nullifying force is at work within it.
What is a nullifying force?
Science fiction.
A nullifying field is only theoretically possible. It presupposes the idea of gravity as something which can be generated.
Artificial gravity?
Unproven hypothesis.
So you... Nicky, can I quickly... Yeah, Patrick, could you hold the microphone? Thanks. What's going on?
Okay,
the object does not obey the natural laws of physics, thus it must be artificial. Mankind has not developed the technology to achieve this. Therefore, reasoned deduction indicates that this is the product of extraterrestrial intelligence, alien technology.
General on the line, something's happening to the object. Beam news confirms.
I can see it's breaking up.
Disintegrating in the atmosphere?
No. The pieces flying up, they're moving in a pattern, maneuvering. Patrick, I'll have to leave you now. The Kremlin are on the other line.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Dmitry.
Right, we'll be taking a break here and returning you to our studio in London. As you can hear, the story is breaking very fast. So, over to the Newsbeat studio and John Franklin.
97 to 99 FM, Radio 1.
Newsbeat.
This is Newsbeat. I'm John Franklin, and within the last few minutes, the Prime Minister, John Major, has appealed for calm following the news that a large extraterrestrial object is now orbiting the Earth. We go now live to Downing Street and join our parliamentary correspondent, John Sloper.
Yes, John, there's been quite a commotion here. The leader of the opposition, Tony Blair, has just arrived. One assumes he's been briefed on the situation. Mr. Major and Mr. Blair are approaching the microphone.
Within the last 15 minutes, a large object of unknown origin has entered the Earth's atmosphere. It is prudent to put all armed and emergency services on standby. I have had a conversation with Her Majesty the Queen in the last few minutes and notified her that as of now, Parliament is dissolved and immediately reconstituted with a coalition government of all parties, both in the Chamber and the Upper House. Mr. Blair and I will share prime ministerial duties as from this announcement. Tony?
Yes, little to add at this point, except to reiterate Mr. Major's call for calm. If the public listen for announcements over the broadcast media, we will keep everyone informed of developments. Thank you.
You're listening to a Newsbeat special bulletin on the events surrounding a large extraterrestrial object which has moved into Earth's orbit. Stay with us for more information. Apparently, the other radio networks and television can't opt out of their regular programming till 7:30 to cover these events. So Radio 1 is at present the only source of information on what's happening. And, in fact, there's some more news breaking from our UFO watch team. Nicky Campbell is with Patrick Moore in an RAF early warning aircraft circling over the northwest approaches. And Nicky's waiting to speak to us. Nicky.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. There's a bit of confusion here with the signal our radar equipment is picking up. Perhaps the Sentry's technical director, Squadron Leader Pete Newton, can explain. Pete, what's going on here?
Well, Nicky, we're getting a lot of interference out to the west. I've asked my surveillance control to check it out.
Look at the Doppler on that landmass. The whole sector's blanked. We're losing other contacts, sir.
That's not interference, that's a radar contact.
Contact at extreme range heading east. Could be a fragment of the orbiting body, sir.
With that pickup range, it must be huge. Sir, I think you should take a look at this.
Group Captain Johnson's moving in to take a look at the screen now.
Stone me. Can you estimate its speed?
It started off in excess of Mach 2, but it's decelerating.
Stay with the contact.
Track the fragment as it comes in over the Atlantic.
Sir.
Patch it through to Operations Centre.
Patrick Moore, what do you make of this? Something appears to be heading this way.
I'm trying to get through to Jodrell Bank for more information.
Right, OK, well, we'll wait for that. Right now, we have on the line two F-3 Tornado pilots from RAF Coningsby. One is Wing Commander John Reginald. The other happens to be the wife of our Sentry captain, Group Captain Phil Johnson, and she is Flight Lieutenant Becky Johnson. Now, first of all, Becky.
Hello, Nicky.
Becky, Phil tells us you've experienced a UFO while training in low-level night flying.
I can't honestly say I know what it was, but there was definitely an object shadowing me about 500 yards off my port wing.
Could it have been, you know, maybe a reflection of your navigation lights or another tornado, perhaps?
Well, it was definitely beside us rather than below us, and my navigator saw it too. There was no ground radar contact to correspond to it. As Reggie puts it, it was a flying object which we couldn't identify, so it fits the category of UFO.
And Reggie is Wing Commander Reginald?
Yes, hello, Nicky.
Ah, so you saw this object too, Reggie?
No, this was before Becky was posted to our squadron, but it's not an unusual story, and we do take these things seriously.
Nicky, I think this may be important.
All right.
You'll have to excuse us, we've been put on cockpit alert.
Nicky!
Right. Thanks.
Nicky!
Patrick, what's the news?
Pretty alarming. Several hundred pieces broke away from the orbiting objects and fanned out. Each fragment is about the size of the Isle of Wight. Or so Jodrell's readings suggest.
Wight? It's enormous.
Yes, indeed. And it appears that they are homing in on large, urbanized centers of population.
Any idea when they might arrive at their destinations?
Not more than a few minutes at the speed this one's moving. It's already over the southwest approaches.
Jodrell reports the communications satellite network seems to be suffering some kind of interference. A carrier wave of enormous power seems to have been superimposed on regular traffic. It may be generated by these fragments as they move toward the densely populated areas.
Yeah, and I'd say the one we're tracking is vectoring in on London.
London?
There may be another moving across the Atlantic toward Ireland or northern England. We're not sure about that one.
Hello, John, at the Newsbeat studio. I think you may now be closer to the scene of events than we actually are right now.
Thank you, Nicky.
97 to 99 FM. Radio 1. Newsbeat.
We've actually got a feed from the Greater London Radio Traffic helicopter, which is now airborne from its base in northwest London. Our reporter Rod Plummer is aboard. Hello, Rod. Nicky Campbell and Patrick Moore tell us an unidentified flying object is moving towards London, Rod. Rod, can you hear me? No, that's odd. We had a line just now. Hello, Rod. Can you hear me? Hello. Yeah, well, it looks as if we've lost Rod there.
Hello, John.
Hello, Rod. Now, this UFO, have you seen anything unusual approaching London?
Well, we're currently heading south-southeast over junction 1 of the M3 at Sunbury. Fairly heavy traffic southbound for a Sunday evening.
Well, what about the UFO? Reports indicate that it's heading in the direction of London, and it's very, very large.
Well, frankly, John, I can't see anything. It's a reasonably clear sky. There's a bank of rain cloud drifting in from the west, so the roads will be slippery later.
Okay, so no sign at all.
Hang on, John. Oh, my God.
Hello, Rod. Hello, Rod Plummer in the GLR helicopter. Hello?
Yeah, sorry about that, John. I thought I disconnected the mic there.
Right, okay.
Yes, visibility's a bit hazy with heavy cloud bank moving, moving against the wind. Big bank of cloud definitely seems to be moving towards London. My God, it's huge. Casting a moving shadow, blocking out the sun. There's a creeping line of darkness moving across Hanworth up to Twickenham, Richmond. We're almost under it. I'll get back to you as soon as we find a better vantage point. Back shortly.
Right, Rod Plummer there in the GLR helicopter. Obviously, a major event is taking place over London, perhaps involving a vast, unidentified flying object, and it is certainly getting dark early outside. Let me hand you back to Nicky Campbell and Patrick Moore up in their RAF early warning aircraft. Perhaps we can get a microphone up onto the roof of the Radio 1 building. I can come back to describe what's happening in a few minutes. Nicky, what's the picture from the RAF point of view?
Yeah, John, RAF Strike Command is now on active alert. The pilots we were talking to earlier have been scrambled. That's Becky Johnson and Reggie. John Reginald. He's leading Blue Section, heading up the initial wave of tornadoes from RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire to investigate this UFO over London. Now, I'm with Patrick on the flight deck of this AWACS, Sentry aircraft with its captain, Becky's husband, Group Captain Phil Johnson. Phil, I believe we're able to talk to the tornadoes while they're actually in the air.
Yes, they're heading for London and we'll rendezvous with a squadron of Jaguar aircraft we've scrambled. Let's see how they're getting on. Blue Leader, this is Eyeball. Come in, over.
Eyeball, Blue Leader, copy, over.
Blue Leader, we have you on air again with Nicky Campbell of Radio 1. Can you give us an idea of your position, Reggie, over?
Yes, hello, Nicky. We're just over Bedford, heading for North London. Apologies to any of your listeners north of Watford if we rattle their windows as we pass by.
Reggie, is there any sign of this large UFO over London?
Well, we're low, so London's still over the horizon. But according to the weather reports, it's supposed to be a clear evening, and I seem to see a large, dark cloud ahead. My nav seems to be having trouble with the radar image, over.
Right, thanks, Reggie. Over.
Phil, is it possible to talk to your wife?
Of course. Blue 2, this is Eyeball, over.
Eyeball, Blue 2, copy, over.
Becky, it's Patrick Moore.
Hello, Patrick.
Blue Leader tells us he's seen what looks like a dark cloud over London. Does this look anything like the UFO you told us about earlier? Over.
I can't honestly say it does. We'll have to take a closer look and then I'll let you know. But I wouldn't say so. Over.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of our listeners in London will already be getting a closer view than you have. Good luck, Becky. Good luck, Reggie. Thanks.
Take care, over.
Will do. Eyeball, Blue 2 out.
Some information from Jodrell Bank. They seem to be losing contact with ground stations through Europe and indeed the United States. They reported objects similar to the one over London, hovering over Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, New York and Washington, and Paris has just gone offline.
So what's happening exactly, Patrick?
Perhaps the UFOs create an ionospheric disturbance which jams their transmissions to us here in the air. The alternative would be some kind of cataclysmic event, a destructive event.
Right. I believe John Franklin in London has managed to get a microphone up onto the roof of the Radio 1 building just near Oxford Circus. John, can you hear us?
Yes, Nicky, actually we're on the roof of BBC Broadcasting House next door. It's pandemonium here in West London. The sky is pitch black. It's like someone put a vast black ceiling over the city. This UFO stretches from horizon to horizon. The streets are packed with vehicles attempting to find a clear route out to get out from under this thing. We were talking earlier to Rod Plummer in the GLR traffic helicopter, and I believe he's back on the line now. Hello, Rod.
Yes, John, hello.
Rod, where are you? Have you managed to get a closer look at the object? Can you describe it? From ground level, it really is very hard to make anything out.
Yeah, sure. Well, we've had a bit of an event here. Just 5 minutes ago, we received radio instructions from the Ministry of Defence. They seem to have a problem with getting helicopters in under this thing from out of town. Basically, we've been commandeered for a bit of a special mission by military intelligence. We have one of their personnel aboard with us.
Well, so, Rod, what are you saying? Are you airborne at present?
Yes, we are, but we're about to land in the gardens of Buckingham Palace. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we're some very VIPs. That's enough. Switch over to radio. Sorry, John. Got a gun.
We seem to have lost Rod Plummer somewhere near Buckingham Palace. Well, I wish I could describe better for you the eerie quality of the darkness this huge thing has cast over London, and it's actually getting lighter again, but the object isn't moving. There seems to be a growing line of bright light emanating from underneath it. It's like vast doors opening. It's like a battery of searchlights. It's very directional, very strong. It's south of the river. It's moving. It's moving northward. It's very bright. It's hard to see beyond it as it moves towards us, but it almost looks as if there were a twinkling light. No, they look like fires. The skyline beyond is different now. It's oh my God! It's like a wall of destruction. It's raising everything in its path to the ground. If you can still hear me, I'm trying to get to the fire escape. Hopefully the radio mic will still work. The light is passing over the river. It's huge clouds of steam. The water is literally boiling. There goes Big Ben. It's truly horrible. It's moving up Regent Street towards Portland Place. Everything below Oxford Circus is a desert. It's a flaming desert. I'm going to try to get into Broadcasting House basement. Get out of the bloody way. The wall of light is on...
This is Blue Leader. Follow me around the perimeter of the UFO. Nobody go in under it unless I give the order. Over.
Blue 2, copy.
Blue 3, copy. It's bloody enormous.
Just acknowledge, Brett.
Blue 4, copy.
Blue Leader, Blue 2. My nav says we couldn't go in under, but radar makes out the UFO as solid down to ground level. Over.
Roger, Blue 2. Max is checking.
Becky's right. My screen says the same as Chris's.
Weird. I can see a clear sky under that thing.
Blue Leader, Blue 2, over.
Go ahead, Blue 2.
Look to starboard. Over Watford, that flash of light.
It's like a curtain of fire.
This is Blue Leader. Tuck in behind me.
Stay clear of the UFO leading edge. Over.
It's hostile. I knew it.
Just hang on, Max. I want solid information from Eyeball before making weapons live. Give me a heading.
Port 10, make your heading 080. Should be over the Thames estuary in 5 minutes.
Roger, port 10080. Blue Leader to Eyeball, over.
That object's generating a lot of random interference.
Blue Leader to Eyeball, over. Becky, over to starboard. That's Walthamstow.
I can't make out a thing, Chris.
That's what I mean.
The object casts such a shadow, I can't see the buildings below it at all.
That's what I mean. They're gone. It's all...
Oh, my God. London isn't there anymore?
Across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds as ours are to the beasts in the jungle. Intellects vast, cool and unsympathetic regarded this earth with envious eyes and slowly and surely drew their plans against us.
Patrick.
The War of the Worlds, Nicky. H.G. Wells. The earliest science fiction has become today's science fact.
Sir, a message coming in on the secure circuit. Coded War Operations Center.
Make sure it's authenticated.
Authentication confirmed. It's a code word boomerang.
Let's take a look. We've moved up to a high state of alert. Eyeball Air Command element and mission crew, check in for briefing.
Weapons, surveillance.
Flight deck.
Right, the rules of engagement have been changed. Strike command have control. Defense condition 1. Commence hostilities against alien vessel. Release codes for 1,000-pound bombs authorized for Red Section Jaguars. Sentry aircraft Eyeball will coordinate major strike on northern flank of enemy craft. Message ends.
Weapons affirmed. Surveillance affirmed.
Flight deck affirmed.
Weapons, you are clear to engage hostile target.
Roger, sir.
Eyeball, Blue Leader, over.
Blue Leader, this is Eyeball. Sitrep, over.
London's gone, Eyeball. It's ashes. Swept flat by some kind of energy wave generated from the belly of this thing. Over.
My God.
Blue Leader, damage report, over.
We just crossed the Thames estuary at Tilbury. Hard to tell, but it looks like the water's boiling down there. Fires blazing on both sides. Over.
All right, make course for RB position with Red Section Jaguars.
They'll be attacking the north flank of the alien vessel. Support them, but be ready to get clear if that thing looks like brewing up. Over.
Roger, Eyeball.
Is Blue 2 with you?
She's fine, Phil. Over.
Right. Let's make contact with WOC at strike.
London's gone.
Get me the AOC.
Gotta get home. You know, see everyone, make sure everyone's okay.
London destroyed? I've lost some very dear friends.
Oh, me too. I'm wondering what hope any of us have got.
I think we are looking at it. This aircraft, the tornadoes, human ingenuity.
Versus alien ingenuity. Now, so far they stack up pretty impressively.
They? Or it?
Red section, Jaguars 30 miles from UFO, sir.
Blue section, tornadoes, ETA rendezvous, 1 minute, sir.
Right, weapons, let's give them room to work. We'll do this in 2 waves. Blue section will cover the Jaguars on their attack run. Keep the remaining Tornado and Jaguar squadrons back as a second wave. Form remaining wings up as they get airborne. Don't let them get too close. If we do manage to toast this UFO, there'll be a bloody big bang, I should think.
Sir.
Jaguar red leader, this is Tornado blue leader, over.
Blue leader, red leader, copy. We have you on visual. Bloody hell, Reggie, where do you start on a thing this size? Over.
We'll take a flanking climb around the edge to 30,000, see if we can reach its top side. Maybe there's something that looks like a weak point. Once we've found one, swing in over it and we'll cover you. Don't get closer than 5 miles till I give the word, over.
Roger, blue leader. Arming warheads now, over.
Red section, form up behind me, and blue 2. Be ready to scatter if we splash this object first time round, over.
Red section, copy.
Blue 2, copy.
Blue 3, copy. Blue 4, copy.
Blue leader, this is Blue 2, over.
Yes, Becky.
Chris just got a massive power surge through the aircraft.
He thinks we've been scammed by that thing, over.
A surge isn't a word. It knows we're here for certain.
Just in case you missed it, Reggie, that's all, over.
Thanks, Blue 2, over.
Did we get that, Max?
That's what it was. Blimey, I thought the computers had thrown a wobbly.
Keep your eyes open, everybody. Should get a look at the top of this damn thing any minute now.
Patrick, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Basic communications haven't changed that much since I was in the RAF.
You were in the RAF?
I was a navigator. I just thought I'd try and see what the world's radio frequencies could tell us.
And?
Nothing on any waveband. Of course, it could be interference from that UFO.
Yeah, and all the others like, hundreds of them, all over the world's major cities. Now, if they've all gone the way of London...
Then we've no way of knowing whether we're the only ones left. I suspect that most countries are in the same position as we are. Assessing the damage, attempting to regroup, and counterattack.
I wonder what our chances are.
Eyeball, this is Blue leader, over.
I should think we're about to find out.